Hey everybody, I'm back one more again. Um, I was gonna tell you guys this earlier today, but that other word when I was in my word, it just stuck out to me. So I know that I was led to give that word to. But this word came before I had got in the word, and it was something I believe that was coming to me last night. And this is for us ladies. Do not play the part of the other woman when you're his wife. Do not do that. Do not subject yourself to being intimate with him. And if he's involved with someone else, don't do that. And I'm going to tell you, this is my raw vent where um, I kind of felt like that's what I was, you guys. I was playing the part of the other woman because in the years time that me and my husband have been separated, no matter who my husband have been with, me and him always would connect on a physical type of way. I just had felt, again, I was just so in a place where, I'm loving him. I felt like it was right. I felt like, entitled, hey, this my husband, whatever, she thinks she got him. And here it is, he's with me. Foolish, because he wasn't. Honestly, he wasn't with us both because he wasn't being responsible to the kingdom of heaven. We really got to call things out like how they are, because if he was being accountable to the kingdom of heaven, then he would have been responsible for me, and he would have never had somebody in his life like that, and nor would I had been the subject to allowing that. But I wanted so bad, like, to be so close to my husband, because again, I felt so guilty of me initiating adultery. But I told you guys, once God said to me, hey, I know where it began with you is no different than how you both have continued to do it throughout the years. So basically, he's no different than you, and he can't continue to point fingers at you when he has not been still and let me deal with him too. He has involved himself continuously throughout the years, just like you have with people. So that guilt had, went away. So I wasn't consumed by guilt. Like I said, I was sitting up there, getting in the life of other men, because I wanted to make up in them what I lost in my husband, just an enslaved mentality. But I was playing the role as the other woman, because after we did what we did, he would go back, where he was. So now years have passed, and even just recently, when I thought that we were in the process of reconciliation, my husband was still um in the house with another woman. Even though what was going on with them was highly dysfunctional, I didn't allow him to come out of that house first. And that's what I should have did. And what hits me is what I was telling you guys the other day, is how, you could have residue. Like, God showed me that there were still things in me that I needed to get out. But it was also meant for my husband to see where he really was with God. Because if my husband, like I said, me and him used to, we were reading the word, we were um, eating on the word, we were watching sermons, we were fasting, we were, doing a lot of different things that was right. And you could do the ritual things of what is right. But if that word is not changing your life, then basically it's just pointless. So we were doing all the right things, but yet and still, at first, my husband was still in that household. But then he ended up coming out of the household. And the Lord had said to me earlier today was, I didn't look at the fact that, yeah, there was still residue in me, but it was also to show my husband how far apart he was from God. Because had he really been joined with God like he's supposed to, first of all, he would not have allowed a lot of things to go on like he did. And secondly, he would not make excuses to not be within the will of God in a marriage with with his wife, to turn back around and go back to the world with a strange woman. And I don't say this ever to put him down. I love him. This is just being real. We got to be real. And people be claiming that they real because they feel like they can cuss and fuss and talk the loudest and all that type of stuff. That means nothing. That means nothing if the truth is not setting people free. So I was putting myself in a position of being um, the other woman. And my husband was feeding off the goodness of God through me and not really seeking after the goodness of God on his own. And I was sitting up there tolerating the fact that, again, he was in this house with this woman, and I had allowed him to convince me that nothing was going on. So I excused it like it was okay, but really it wasn't, because it was things that I held in that I did not like. So when I came before him and all the different stuff came out, I just explode. I went off. That was partially of me going off, because I felt like I've been waiting for you. I've been on the sideline. I've been the one here, doing this and doing that. And you telling me all this different stuff about this woman, and you continuing to be like, all these different things came out. So I say to you ladies, don't play the part of another woman, because I'm telling you right now, you are the wife. You are the one that God looks as righteous. You are the one that he looks at far more precious than rubies. You are the one that he looks at being a crown to her husband's head. You are the one that he's looking at as being life to him. Do not put yourself in a position to play the other woman. And I don't care if he sit up there and he call you and he's saying sweet nothings to you. You do not want to fall for that, because sweet nothings mean nothing. If he is not transformed by the renewing of his mind, and he is not carrying the spirit of the Holy Ghost, and he's not coming to you with a godly sorrow, then he is still the same. Don't put yourself in a position of that, because I know sometimes we feel like just a little bit of him is is all I need. I just want a little bit of him, and I could just love on him, and he could just see the love of me, but the love that I have for him. But no, he's not going to see that. He's going to see it as another opportunity, basically to come with you where it is familiar. Even though you guys could have great sex, that don't mean you guys had great love. And you want to have great love with him now. You want to have kingdom love. You want to have righteous love. You want to have the love that comes from God. Because I have to honestly say, all this stuff that is happening, I did not tie to my husband the right way, you guys. And I said this in a previous video. I tied to my husband in flesh when I was broken. Flesh. We walked into a covenant of marriage outside the will of God, because we were in the sin of fornication. So the Lord told me long ago, those who do that, they are going to reap some things in their marriage. You're sowing into wrong things in your marriage before you walk into a marriage. So you're going to reap some things in your marriage. So when all hell started breaking loose, me and my husband didn't know what to do but turn on each other. That's it. It was a part of the enemy's plan. And now, since I know what is true, I'm just trying to warn everybody, do it the right way. Do it the way that the Lord has wrote it for it to be. If you were tied to your spouse by the flesh, you do not want to tie to them in intervals of moments in the flesh. You now want to be tied to them in the spirit, because that's where it's most powerful. You got to think about it. The Lord is of oneness. oneness in righteousness and truth. And that's the way that you want to be with your prodigal. You do not, because you got to look at it like this. What is the difference between you laying down with your husband now and then your husband going to lay with someone else? What are you giving him that the next woman won't be able to give him? The fulfillment of what you give him needs to come through the spirit. And I got to be honest, my husband had told me too that he did not want me that way, like in a physical way anymore. And at first I was like, what? When he was in the house with the woman, I was like, okay, cool. The Lord told me not to do anything and I didn't. And as I said in the previous video, that was big for me, not to do it, because I have always, me and him too have connected in the physical type of way. But my husband was even looking out for me then, even in the midst of what he was doing was wrong. He still was looking out for me spiritually, because he said he did not want to have me like that, in that type of way, because he did not want to see me the way that he looked at other women. Now I just was like, okay, just clueless. Now I get it. He did not want to have me in the way in which he had other women, because honestly, the way in which he had other women was wrong. He didn't want it that way. He didn't want the connection to be a physical with his wife. He wanted it to be spiritual. And I didn't catch that, you guys. So I'm just putting this out here raw. I hope that it all makes sense, because I want you ladies to really, learn from my mistakes, learn from even my growth. Don't do it. I know how hard it is, and man, you just be wanting that love and attention and affection. But that type of love and attention and affection, you want it where that man's heart is most definitely led by God. It's influenced by God. You do not want it. You don't want him that way. And you shouldn't want him to want you that way. You feel me? Does that make any sense? So I just wanted to leave this with you guys really quick here. Don't ever play yourself short with playing the part of another woman, because you are the wife, and that's how God see you, and that's how you should see yourself, and that's how you should always carry yourself. I hope that this was a blessing to you, and may you continue to grow and develop into whom God has called you to be during this time of separation. So be blessed. I thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.